Hello everyone, my name is Prabhat and welcome to p3clouds.com. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how can you pass the data from parent components to the child components. So let's take an example. Let's say you have two components. One is a parent components and the other one is a child components, and you want to pass some values to the child components from parents components. So in this tutorial we are going to learn what are the ways we can pass the data to the child component. Okay, so to do that, what I'll create two components. The first component I'll name it parent component, and the second component I'll name it child component. Okay, so to create component lightning web component in VS Code, you need to press Ctrl Shift P, and then you can type create lightning web component. I'll select the first option as it is visible to me here, and once you select it, you get desired file name to be entered. So for the desired file name, I'll name it parent component, and I press the enter. Okay, so if you see here in the left panel, the parent component has been created with 3 files: HTML, JS, and the XML file. There is one more component we will create so that we can pass the data from parent component to child component, and that would be child component. I'll select the desired directory and save it. So now we have two components. The first component is a parent component and the second one is a child component, right? So let's write something in the child component. So I'll H1. So I'll write here parent component contents. I'll save it and I'll try to push it to the Salesforce. To do that, we need to do configuration of in the XML. Is exposed, I'll mark as true so that this component is visible in Salesforce. And for XML, I'll put the targets where this component should be visible in the Salesforce. So for now I'll make it, for now I want that this component should be visible on Lightning record page, Lightning app page, and Lightning home page. I'll save it and I'll push the parent component to the deploy this source to org. Okay, let's head back to the Salesforce. In the Salesforce, you can just edit the page. I'm on the home tab. And I'll look for the parent component. Okay, I'll place it here. And I'll go back. So if you can see here, the parent component content is visible here. We need to, sorry, so it's content. Okay, so let's do some styling so that it will be visible for you guys. So I'll put style font size equal to 40 and color, let's define some color that would be white. Let's see, let me push it and let's see how it looks. I'll refresh the page. So once you refresh it, you will get this text, parent component contents. Now let's go back to VS Code, and in VS Code what we are going to do, in the parent component we will define one variable, and that variable name would be, let's name it send to child. And the text I will define send to child. I'll save it. Now let's say you want to display this text to the child component from parent component. So how can you do it? Okay, so to do it, what I'll do, so we need to call the child component. So you can call child component like this, you can type C and then your child component. So if there is any, so whenever you name any LWC component, it should be in the camel case, and wherever it is a camel case we can just put dash to refer that. And we will pass one attribute, and I'll make this attribute as this, and I'll pass this variable to this, and then I'll close it. So what I have done, so here what we are going to do, same way, we will write child send to child. So what we have done so far, so we defined one variable that is sent to child, and if it is in a camel case, so wherever it is in a camel case we can write in this way, like whenever you find any the capital letter, just you can use there a dash instead of writing the capital letter. If you write it, it won't accept. This is how we call child component in the parent component. Now our next step is to pass the data. How can we pass the data to child component, right? So to do that, we will go to the child component, and this is the child component. Here I'll define one h1 tag, and in h1 tag I'll do some styling to look it better. So font size I'll write 30 pixel, and color I'll make it green. Yeah, okay. So how can you pass this data sent to child, this variable, this value, to the child component? So to do that, you need to use one public property. So I'm here on the child component JS, and that public property is API, and we can define one variable here, that variable API send to child. Now we are almost done. We just copy this and we will differentiate to here inside the curly braces. Okay, so this is done. Now what I'll do, I'll push it to source org, and also I'll push it to the parent component, needs to be pushed to source org. I'll refresh the page, and if you see here, the parent component contents, this is parent component contents, and this contents we pass the value from parent component to child component, which is displaying here. So this is how you can pass the value from parent component to child component. Thank you.